Hey, it's Friday morning. Scott Cullen, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report here. Time for Fridays with Frank. Before I bring out Frank, who's been on the road, I do want to remind everybody to like, subscribe, and comment. So, Frank, how are you doing today, and what's on your mind?
Well, seeing as CJ and I didn't get home last night till about 11 o'clock, I'm a little bit punchy, but I'm good to go. I'm good to go. We had a great visit with distribution management out in St. Louis, and another surprise for me. This is the second one I've made to a distribution organization, and very different than the first, but very powerful because it demonstrated to me. The first one was TD Synnex, and it's a $63 billion entity, and it was a very impressive meeting and presentation, and learned a great deal about what they do and what they offer and how they offer it. Go to distribution management, and it's a little bit shy of $1 billion, but the atmosphere, the people, it is just so incredibly different. And it was so interesting. We had lunch with pretty much a large collection of the staff in the headquarters. And I said, hey, I'm going to talk about you guys on Fridays with Frank. What would you like me to stress? And one of the gentlemen said, talk about our culture. It's kind of special here. And you know something? He was right. You get a feeling when you walk into the reception areas and you talk to the receptionist, because you're like always, you sign in, and very warm smile and greeting, and that permeated throughout. Barney Keister, who calls himself the #1 employee, but then after reflection says, no, the #1 has to go to the chairman. That's Tom Fleming. So he says, I'm really #2. So he's been with them from the beginning, and he's quite a guy. And of course, loves the business. And Sarah Costa, who's his daughter, runs sales, and he's very proud of her. So you get the sense that this is almost like a family-run business. Of course, Tom's nephew, Sean Fleming, is the CEO. An overall evaluation, what did I come away with? This is a distribution organization that understands what is most important to dealers. They came up with a presentation. I wish I had the time to go through all of you. It was that impressive. That really identified to me what they're doing is with the express purpose to show dealers how they can do MPS, as an example, how they can handle MPS and save a lot of money. I got to tell you, that caught my attention. With the big problem with MPS right now is the A3 moving more and more into A4 and dominating the MPS packages. So obviously lesser revenue. They stressed just the ability to work with, here's the listing of the vendors that there were: HP, Epson, Brother, Lexmark, Sharp, Xerox, Canon, Ricoh, and the list goes on to other entities that are would not directly be involved in MPS. So no matter what the typical configuration of the MPS is, they've got the products that they can do the shipping. And then going through the exercise, they showed one simple statistic where the average UPS cost to deliver a cartridge is $12. They can do it for $8. So overall, they claim that if you were to make 10,000 shipments, MPS type shipments, through their distribution centers. There's 4 of them. You'd save $120,000 on shipping alone. Now, that's just one small item in the mix. So I thought that was pretty neat. And to think about this as a smaller type distribution organization, according to the PowerPoint that was delivered, they have shipments in 2022, 5,701,821. Order accuracy, 99.98%, coming from the 4 highly automated distribution centers. And CJ and I got the whole tour, and it is highly automated with loads of robots. You know, one of the things that I've always admired about winning organizations or good organizations is the culture. And a lot of the large companies, they can't have the same type of culture of a smaller company. It's just impossible. In an environment like distribution management, one of the executives that might be dealing with an issue, he could go walking into Sean's office, say, "Hey, Sean, I got this problem with this thing. What do you think?" In a larger company, that can't happen. It's too big. So you lose that ability to respond quickly to a customer need. That's the way I perceive it. Did I witness that? No. Do I know that goes on? No. I believe it because I saw the way they interacted with each other. And to me, that was what counted most. And going back to when we first started, our first contract was with Minolta. A gentleman by the name of Sam Kusamoto run it. He built a fantastic culture there, that where the employees loved working for Minolta and loved Sam. And not because he was an overall good guy and yes to everything, but he always had a great answer when it had to be no, and an honest one. Plus, he had a great sense of humor and a wonderful person to begin with. But at any rate, from that point on, culture to me became a very important thing. Because you can see when you have people in that positive frame of mind that, yeah, we can help our clients, we can help our dealers, no matter what comes up, because they feel they have the whole organization behind them, that they don't need to go through a strenuous labyrinth to get to the head decision maker and say, "Hey, this is what we've got with a client. This is what we need to get done. What are your thoughts?" And get it resolved quickly. And I can't say enough about the very warm feeling we received going through that distribution center and just talking to the people there. I would say if there's one message that I could deliver to our audience of dealers, I know you're reluctant to use companies like distribution management for MPS for the simple reason you're divulging who your customer is. Well, the only thing I can tell you is some very, very credible dealers that you all know, like R.J. Young or Gordon Flesh, just as an example. They use distribution management, and they wouldn't unless they had the greatest sense of trust in them. So I would say if you can just think about it for a moment, because I absolutely believe the presentation that they made, that they could save you money on MPS. You've got to take advantage of an opportunity, at least evaluate it. These are people you can trust. That's my story for today, Scott.